Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. So obviously you guys know what this video is about because you saw the thumbnail. We sold NVDY. Now, we've been planning on doing this for a while, and I wanted to show you guys what we got back out of it, how much we overall made, and where we put the money going forward. So we've been watching this one for a while. I do feel like it's going to recover a little bit later, but it's not worth waiting for it to happen for us. Getting our portfolio lined up and as tax efficient as possible before we get too much into next year is really important to us. So let's start off with the overall cost. We put $33,461.75 in this asset, okay? That's our original cost basis. Now, you have to subtract our option premium because we got some of the shares by selling options. So 333 comes out of that because we acquired shares through options. Now, we collected $17,201.49 in dividends throughout the time of holding it. Now, mind you, those dividends came out and we spent them or we used it to acquire other shares. So we actually spent that money. So we were living off that money basically, and you have to take that into account. It's not like we were reinvesting this money in NVDY continuing to lose money. And then when we sold, we were able to make $21,929.19 back. So we made almost $22,000 selling it, which means overall we profited $6,001.93 owning this asset. Now, had we owned other assets, we probably would have made more, but we're happy to exit on green. Leaving in a profit is always better. Now, since we have almost $22,000, we needed to put that money back to work. So what we did was we went to our portfolio here, and let's go to the high yield side of it. You can see we're currently at $192,000, and the numbers on our income are not correct. So please don't bother looking at that. Our income for December was not $7,400. Those numbers will be coming out here in a few days. But we also will have our yearly returns coming out, so pay attention for that video. But first thing we bought was Maggie. We expanded our position in Maggie. This was actually the final part to our $2,000 of non-return of capital assets, okay? So our first $2,000 we have set in stone which ones we're going to hold, and Maggie was the final piece of that. Now where we put the rest of the money is not an asset I'm super into, which is XPay. So XPay is trying to make all their distributions be return of capital. That is their goal. And with a 20% yield, it's a managed distribution, which honestly I'm not a big fan of because things could go wrong very quickly. But that's 5 years of basically tax-free income, and their share price has been holding up over the long term so far. Now, we are currently waiting to sell any more assets or move any more money until Neos comes out with their boosted funds. That should be what we use to finish up most of our portfolio for the $2,000 a month of return of capital. Basically, for those assets, we should have very little taxation, and technically they don't count as income. So XPay was a big addition. We did not have any. Now we have almost 260 shares. Now, XPay has been paying around 90 cents a share, so that's a pretty decent amount, a decent chunk. But it kind of was the alternative that we had available while we wait for Neos and their new funds. So at this level, we still have a lot of positions to get rid of. As far as yieldmax goes, we've got HOOY, 100 shares of that to get rid of. And then we have 250 shares of Plady, but each of these have calls on them right now. So we're making money actively on top of the dividend they're paying, bringing our cost basis down so we can actually sell out by either exiting through options or exiting through selling it out as we bring the cost basis down. When Neos brings out the new funds, we will be getting rid of those. The HOOW, we have 50 shares of that. PLTW, we have 50 shares of that. So there's different assets here that are not staying. So we will be removing those. The only yield max we will be keeping is YMAG. And we have 1,076 shares of that. That's on the non-ROC side. We're going to go ahead and let that stay. But we also have started buying up GPIQ and GPIX. And we will be adding to them every 2 weeks 1 share of each. And doing that going forward as they do a lot of return of capital. So just wanted to give you guys a quick update. Obviously, NVDY made us money, but yieldmax is not coinciding with the kind of retirement we're trying to build. We are in a waiting game right now. Money is just being held. As soon as Neos comes out with their new funds, we'll be buying those up. But portfolio is starting to look good. It's starting to look really tax efficient. And I like to see the fact that our overall share price for our entire account is just continuing to climb. You can't beat that. But with that said, if you haven't already, and I don't know why you wouldn't have, go down, hit subscribe, hit the notification bell so you can see all of our upcoming videos. Give us a like and let us know down in the comments what you're buying, and I'll see you in the next one.